Welcome back to JCPod, partner with Stare Down Sports. Stare Down, greatness, and man, oh man, was this a fun weekend of football. College football week 12 delivered to us, gave us some great games, some awesome action. NFL week 11, we came in thinking it was going to be a great slate. We had some great games. We had an amazing performance from Josh Allen, historic performance from Jacoby Brissett in a ass beating that didn't go their way. But there was just so much action that we need to talk about. So week 11, we're going to go over that. We're going to recap what happened. We got some NFL news to talk about with some massive injuries for some teams. And then we're going to go over some division leaders, the awards markets for like MVP, Coach of the Year, all that fun jazz. And after that, we're going to recap some of the big games of college football week 12 and what shakeup that has for the college football playoffs. We'll go over the AP. I'm not going to lie to you. At this point, we probably don't need to go over the AP top 25 anymore. We'll see. This might be one of the last weeks we do it. It really does not matter because at this point, it's like the AP Top 25 is a completely different thing from the college football playoffs. And yeah, I mean, I guess we'll just go over it, but I don't know how long it's going to say. I mean, we only got like 2 weeks left anyway. And then we got a major coaching news to talk about, so let's hop into it. Let's go over NFL Week 11, and we'll briefly go over last week's Thursday night game just because it's been a long time since then, and the Patriots honestly beat the Jets' ass. But yeah, the Jets looked like for a minute after that first drive, they drove down the field, scored a touchdown. We're up 7-0 in the first quarter. There's a little bit where you're sitting there like, are they going to do it? Are they going to do it? And then very quickly it's like, oh, no, they aren't going to do it. Okay. Justin Fields ends up finishing with 116 passing yards, so not by far his worst performance, but not too good. He's already been benched for this upcoming week for Tyrod Taylor, so that kind of goes to show you how they thought his game went. Shout out to John Mechie. He did have a receiving touchdown. Stephon Diggs had an amazing game for the Patriots. Another guy who did. If you're like me, man, this has been a blessing to watch. Trevion Henderson, I've had him in fantasy. But no, in both, I have a league I own, league I'm in. That's one of my buddies. I have Trevion in both of them. Man, has it been fun just to watch him get some opportunities. Well, he didn't carry the ball. I mean, 3.3 average, not the best on the ground. He did have some big plays and 3 touchdowns. So, I mean, and you can see it. I think it was the first play of the game that they gave him the ball. He almost broke it for a touchdown. So you can see the explosiveness is there. He's starting to learn more how to do things as an NFL back. It's just going to be interesting to see what happens when Ramondre Stevenson comes back because they did love using him at the beginning. That's more fantasy talk that I'm kind of curious about, but we'll see. I don't even know if he's going to be back next week. But there's no reason to rush him back with how good Trevion's playing anyway. And, I mean, not only is he playing good, Drake May, he's so damn good. 25 for 34, 281, 1 touchdown. Didn't have 2 touchdowns this game for the first time in like 4 or 5 games. But really, really good game from him. Patriots won 27-14. And as of right now, they are first in, or I think they have the tiebreaker over the Broncos. I believe they're first in the AFC because Colts were on bye. So, yeah. Shout out to the Patriots. Somehow, we said it last week, I'll say it again. Somehow, some way, this team only had to be in the gutters for a couple of years. And it seems like they're already back. And Drake May is only, I think, 23 years old. So, and they have Mike Vrabel. So, it's probably going to deal with this for a while. Josh Allen, shout out to him. He becomes the Jaguars' all-time leader in sacks with 56, which crazy to think about it's only 56. Like, you think about how long some of these franchises have been around. Obviously, the Jaguars have not been one of those franchises, but you go to think like an NFL sack record's like 100 and whatever it is, and then franchise record 56. Only 56, which still is a lot, but you think about it compared to some other records, it's just like, man, that's crazy to think about because obviously they haven't been around the longest, which is still another crazy thing. Think about it, like, man, especially in the NFL, if you really think about it, wasn't too long ago. But speaking of, Jaguars beat them 35-6. I mean, the Chargers basically just didn't show up. Justin Herbert, I think, had to end up leaving the game at a certain point with a concussion. I think he came back in and was able to finish the game, but I don't know what's going to be coming of him injury-wise. He ended up getting pulled again late just because of how bad it was, but 10 for 18 for 81 yards for him. I mean, it's crazy. Trevor Lawrence was 14 for 22 for 153 yards, and they win 35-6. I mean, the Jaguars just really came to play, and the Chargers did not. I mean, that's just the best way to put it. Chargers, they look bad, and that is a very concerning loss for them. I mean, shout out to the Jaguars. Massive win for them because now they're in the playoff picture. And not only that, they still have 2 games upcoming with the Colts, so Hey, division might be a possibility now for them all of a sudden. We'll just have to see on that. But like I said, for the Chargers, that was just a really, really bad loss. Obviously, not having the best of offensive linemen was really starting to bite them in the ass. Good time for them to have a bye. They really need a bye week, get some guys healthy. Marion Hampton might be coming back off the bye. And hey, you play the Raiders after the bye, so maybe a good get-right game after that. I forgot about talking about the 9:30 game. Dolphins win 16-13 in overtime. This is one of those games where I was just sitting there waiting for the Dolphins to lose it, and somehow the Dolphins hang around, score a touchdown late. And by late, I mean it was 12 minutes ago, so not like the latest, but that was the last touchdown in the fourth quarter. And then after that, it goes to overtime. They get a pick. The Dolphins get a pick. I think it was first play off of Mariota, sets them up in field goal range. They kick the field goal, they win. But like I said, this was just a really weird game overall. Devon Achane had a really good day. He just seems like he's always steady for them. And for the Commanders, it was just I don't know. I feel like this is a tough one to lose because you're watching the game and you feel like the Commanders are winning it. And then you look at the score, it's like, all right, still tied. Somehow still tied. Wait, they lost? I mean, you look at the stats, too. Even the stats, kind of box score-wise, show that the Commanders were more efficient. But shots to the offense. Like I said, they just found a way to win that game. They're still fighting a little bit. And, hey, it seems like at this point, McDaniel's at least going to start coaching next year some. Now, does he finish next year? We'll have to see. Maybe the GM wants a new guy before even the start of the year, but at this point, they're playing pretty hard for him, so it's hard to see him not coaching that team. We'll skip to the Sunday night game just because I have it right here up next. Eagles win 16-9. That Eagles defense is legitimate. Jared Goff just looked cold in that game. He played pretty bad as well, which did not help them. And, I mean, I know there was a late penalty that really kind of gave the Lions no chance to try to at least come back, but overall, I just think the Eagles are offensively. I don't know what the hell to make of them. It's kind of similar. It's basically similar to what happened with the Chiefs last year, except in this case, the Eagles' defense is amazing. Like they're probably the best defensive unit in the league at this point. But overall, it's like I said with the Chiefs last year. It's like their offense. It's just like their offense just looks bad, but they find ways to win games and. The Lions, shout out to the Lions defense. The Lions defense balled out too. I mean, I think they went for it on fourth down 5 times. Didn't get any of them. And their defense was still able to hold the Eagles to 16 points. That's a pretty impressive showing by both defenses overall. But, yeah. Shout out to Jameson Williams. Good game for him. A.J. Brown had 7 receptions for 49 yards. Saquon, good game on the ground. Jahmyr Gibbs, better game receiving than on the ground. Yeah, Lions just look pretty bad on offense. Having no Laporta might be an issue. They played a good defense, so I don't want to look into it too much, but him going on IR for 4 games is not the greatest for that team. So we're going to have to keep an eye on them moving forward and see if there's any issues that come from that. Is there any other blowouts to talk about? Well, no, not really. So we'll just go down the list in order that I have it. Bucks-Bills, this was the game of the day. Bucks looked like at one point they actually could have truly stole it. They ended up losing 32-44. Like I said, this was a really back-and-forth game for a while. And then at one point, the Bucks just got stopped, I think, like 2 or 3 times. And then the Bills were able to capitalize on 1 or 2 of those. And Josh Allen, man, 19 for 30, 317 yards, 3 passing touchdowns, 2 interceptions. One of those interceptions was really, really bad, but he made up for this performance because he also had 40 yards on the ground and 3 rushing touchdowns. I think him and Otto Graham are the only players to ever have 3 passing touchdowns, 3 rushing touchdowns, and Josh Allen has done it twice now. I mean, he just was unstoppable that game. Like I said, that was one of those games where both teams were just marching down the field. Sean Tucker broke away 3 or 4 massive runs, ended up with 3 rushing touchdowns himself. But the Bills' defense, they were able to get 1 or 2 key stops, and that was enough for them to win this game. They ended up winning by 12. Really good. I mean, I'm not taking away anything from either team. It's just a tough loss for the Bucs. We're really starting to slide a little bit, but this is one of those games where, I mean, sucks to lose, but both teams played well enough to win the game. It's just the Bills were able to take advantage, and Josh Allen, one of the best performances we've seen from him in a while. I mean, he was unstoppable on Sunday. Bears-Vikings. Bears win 19-17. We'll skip to the end of this game to talk about how it goes. J.J. McCarthy played horrible all day. Somehow the Vikings were able to block a punt. Jordan Mason gets a touchdown. And then with 50 seconds to go, J.J. McCarthy scores a passing touchdown to Jordan Addison. One of his better passes of the day. He did not have many. And then, of course, you see it. Those pesky Bears, man, they're fighting. They hang around in games. And guess what? They did again. Massive kick return for them. They ended up leading them. I think they got to the opponent's 40 on the kick return. So this dynamic kickoff being a thing it's showing up, because who knows if the Bears win the game without that? We won't. I mean, it doesn't matter, because Buddy was able to return it. He got to their 40, like I said. They kicked a field goal with 4 seconds to go. They ended up winning the game. J.J. McCarthy had a horrible game, though. He ends up with 2 interceptions as well. But it's one of those things where he's playing. It's very early in his career still, so we can only say so much. But he's having some pretty poor performances. And with the team that went 14-2 last year, and now they're doing this. I mean, Justin Jefferson was showing his frustrations on the sideline a little bit with how bad the offense was playing. It's just getting to a point where it's like, okay, I'm not. You know he has to develop and everything, but man, did they just waste the season trying? And then he got hurt too this season at some point. So it's just not been great vibes so far when it comes to J.J. McCarthy and what's going on over there. I mean, he has moments where he looks like. I mean, that fourth quarter drive, he just looked. He looked really good, but it's just for whatever reason, he has not been able to put it together through a full game so far, and he's still young, so. There's no reason to, give up on him just yet, but it's not looking the greatest. Packers-Giants. Packers won 27-20. Big news from this is Jordan Love ends up leaving hurt. He comes back in. Josh Jacobs leaves the game hurt. He is now day-to-day with a knee issue. I forget what the exact thing is. We'll talk about it in the news, but he left with a knee injury. Thankfully, the knee injury is going to be day-to-day, so it shouldn't be hopefully too bad of an issue for him going forward, but for the Packers, this was a decent win for them. You can't be mad about a win, but they did not play very good again this game offensively. Jameis Winston, it was awesome to get to see him. He just him being out there on offense, throwing it around, something felt right about it. He definitely looked better than Russ. I don't know if he looked. I would say I don't know if he looked better than Jackson Dart. Maybe slightly, at least passing wise, probably, but. Overall, not a horrible game by the Giants. They look competitive with Jameis back there, but the Packers were able to get a massive win. I think most people who took this game thought the Packers were going to win, but not cover the 7.5, and that's exactly what they end up doing. So they're just a weird team moving forward still. I don't know fully what to think of them. And then as for the Giants, good for us. They lost another game for our season win total under, because they have Lions, Pats, Commanders, Vikings, Raiders, Cowboys. I think they can win. They might get up to like 4, potentially 5 wins, I think. So this was a clutch game for them to lose, because I don't think it would have been super crazy if they stole the game, but I don't think, it obviously didn't happen, and I don't think it would have happened. Texans, Titans. Texans win 16-13. Ugly win for the Texans. It looked like Cam Ward was going to have his moment for a minute. He threw a touchdown to Van Jefferson with 1:35 to go, but Davis Mills was able to lead them down, and they kick a field goal to win it. I don't know what to say about this game. I'll admit, I didn't get a lot of eyes on it. I only saw it when it was on Red Zone, and what I saw was ugly on both sides. Nico Collins finished with 9 for 92 and a touchdown again. So, weirdly enough, Davis Mills is, I think, passing the ball a little bit better than C.J. Stroud as of right now. And it sounds like C.J. Stroud might be out again on Thursday. So I don't know what's going on with him. Maybe they're just trying to get him fully back with how good Davis Mills is playing. They're just trying to take their time with him. But I don't know, man. It's starting to get a little weird with that. But, like I said, big win for the Texans. They massively needed that win. If they lost, just to keep their season alive, they're at 5-5 now with. Hey, if they can find a way to win out, or at least win majority of their upcoming games, they might make the playoffs. And then they have a good enough defense too, for sure. Then for the Titans, they fall to 1-9. They're just having an abysmal season, and it's looking like they're on the path to the number 1 overall pick. I want to give a round of applause to Bryce Young. Bryce Young, best game of a Carolina Panther quarterback, I think, in their history. 31 of 45, 448, and 3 touchdowns. He just was. He was unstoppable. It was genuinely impressive to see how well the Panthers played that game. And, of course, in Pickem, Keith had, for those of you who are following the Pickem series on tomorrow's episode, Keith had the Panthers. Guess what? He won the pick. I'm not going to lie to you. I think getting first in Pickem might be a lost cause because this guy is just running away with it. He is on fire. But not Pickem aside, Falcons fall to 3-7, which is absolutely shocking. I think we talked about at the beginning of the season that we thought, and by we I mean me, I thought it was going to be like Falcons Bucks again for the top of the race. Panthers would be in third, Saints in fourth. Panthers Falcons basically flipped that, and Panthers are looking like a good team, while the Falcons, they look bad. Michael Penix is getting second evaluation on his knee. We'll see if anything comes out in the news section. As of right now, I don't think anything did. Sounds like his season might be over, so it's going to be Kirk Cousins time, which also isn't really a good news for them. And then the best part on this, the icing on the cake, they don't even have the first round pick next year because they traded it to get another defender this year, thinking they were going to be a little bit better. So their first round pick's going to the Rams. And as of right now, the Rams have a top 10 pick that if the Falcons keep playing like this, and now that Kirk Cousins is starting, that's going to be a really good pick for a Rams team that is only getting better and better. But I don't want to take anything away from the Panthers. Like I said, I know the Falcons have some problems. They're playing horrible, but Bryce Young set a franchise record with passing yards. He played one. Rico Dowdle didn't really get it going on the ground too much, but hey, when your quarterback throws for 400, I don't think you need to. Tyrone McMillan had 8 receptions for 130 yards and 2 touchdowns. Drake London was 7 for 119. I think he's out this week. He needs week to week with an injury himself. So, man, tough day for the Falcons. Amazing day for the Panthers. That was an awesome game. I think Ted Rowe is now 6th in the NFL in receiving. So, I mean, truly it is. Something's brewing over there with the Panthers. I think we talked about it earlier in the year how I said next year it's going to be the year where it's like, hey, they might be able to do something. It's looking like, hey, they might make the playoffs this year. I thought it might be next year where they become like a playoff, I don't want to say contender, but at least like, hey, this might be a team that can win a game, at least one round in the playoffs. I thought that might be next year, but they have a case for, hey, maybe they might be able to do it this year. I mean, there's still some games where they look horrible, but there's other games like that where they look pretty good. Bengals, they lose to Steelers 34-12. 2 defensive touchdowns in the fourth quarter helped put the icing on that cake. There's 1 interception, a third one in the fourth. Kenneth Gainwell had 2 touchdowns on the day. Jalen Warren dealing with an ankle injury. Curious to see if he'll be playing next week. Not 100% sure. Biggest thing coming out of this game, though, other than the Steelers just beating their ass, the spitting incident with Jamar Chase. He spit on Jalen Ramsey. Jalen Ramsey gets ejected from this game later. Now, the Jamar Chase for the Bengals, he's going to be suspended next game. So that means for the Bengals, they're playing the New England Patriots without Jamar Chase. And it's going to be interesting to see what happens to Trey Henderson. Jamar Stewart's on IR. Trey Henderson didn't play last week. Not great news out of the Bengals, really. And you got to wonder if Joe Burrow's even going to come back at this point. They opened his 21-day window, but with how bad this team, man, it might be doing a disservice to Joe and his career if they bring him back to this dumpster fire. But hey, what do I know? They might need to sell tickets. But that was a massive win for the Steelers. And the Bengals, they looked bad on defense again. 49ers, they went 41-22. I mean, this was an absolute ass beating as well. But shout out to Jacoby Brissett. He broke the NFL record with completions. He had 47 completions for 47 of 57 passing, 452 yards, 2 touchdowns, 2 interceptions. And he was in no way was there any chance at any point in this game where you felt like the Cardinals were going to win it. It's an NFL record, and it was just basically in the background of an ass beating because 49ers just jumped on him early. Brock Purdy was back. He threw George Kittle 2 touchdowns. Christian McCaffrey looked good. They looked like the 49ers of old on offense. Ricky Pearsall only got 1 reception this week. It seems like he's probably going to get worked in a little bit more as he's coming back, but he looked decently healthy in that game. Trey McBride caught a touchdown for the Cardinals. Jermaine Dortch had 1 as well. But yeah, like I said, that was just an ass beating. Rams, they went 21-19 against the 49ers. Against the Seahawks. Rams jumped on them early. They got a touchdown from Kyren, then a touchdown from Devontae, so they were up 14-3, and then 2 more field goals from Seattle later. It's 14-9. Then they get another field goal, so it's 14-12. Rams get a touchdown late, and then the Seahawks get a touchdown with 2 minutes to go. But they have a chance. They did actually have a chance to win the game. They go to drive in the field goal range. Tim's running pump fakes with 5 seconds to go, and it's like, I don't know if you should do that. Thankfully, he still got the Shaheed. He gets down with 1 second left, 61-yarder. No good. I think it was, if you're the kicker, it's basically wide right. And it looked like for a half second it might go in, and then it just immediately went right. It's like, okay, the Rams end up winning this game. Matt Stafford only threw for 130 yards. He had 2 touchdowns. Sam Darnold, though, 29 for 44, 279, 0 touchdowns, 4 interceptions. Oh, boy. I'll say, it was a point in this game where offensively neither quarterback was doing anything, and it just became like a punt fest. Both defenses came and balled out. The Rams defense especially, they were able to hold down the Seahawks, and that is a massive win for the Rams, who now I think hold a 2-game advantage in the division, and they are ahead. They're ahead of the Seahawks by 2 games, and they have the tiebreaker. So I think there's a good chance the Rams are on their way to win the division. I mean, the Seahawks, they still have a chance to do something if they keep going, but Sam Darnold had one of those games where it's like, oh, it was kind of like a PTSD moment to the, like kind of a flashback to the playoffs where it's like, oh, Jesus, that guy came back. That's what Seattle Seahawks fans sadly had to deal with on a Sunday. Probably not fun. I had the Rams in this game, so we ended up getting Rams money line, so that was nice because the -3 ended up not covering. But yeah, tough day to be a Seattle Seahawks fan because Sam Darnold had a horrible game, and now I'm sure all Seattle Seahawks fans are gonna be worried about that for rest of the season. Chiefs, Broncos. Broncos win 22-19. Travis Kelce, though, shout out to him. Set the Chiefs' all-time touchdown record with 84. He surpassed Priest Holmes. And obviously, he's going to go down as a first ballot Hall of Famer. Probably end up in the Chiefs Ring of Honor. And he had another massive day yesterday. Mahomes didn't have the best of games. He had 276 passing, 1 touchdown, 1 interception, but by far not the best games Mahomes has had. Bo Nix, though, 24 for 37, 295. He had no touchdown, no interceptions, but he hit some. It's the opposite of Bo Nix games used to go. He hit some plays when he really needed it. Like, there's times where Bo Nix, there's a deep ball there, and he can hit it for a big play, and he misses it when they need it. He was able to hit it every time they needed it this game. I mean, they looked really good, them being the Broncos. They looked really good. Travis Kelce, 9 receptions for 91 yards and a touchdown. He had a massive day as well. But, yeah, the Chiefs just weren't able to pull it out. I'm not going to take anything away from them. It's basically, it's just, as statisticians would say, regressing to the mean. No, they're just not winning the one-score games. They won 12-0 one-score games last year. They're 0-5 now this year. They're just, what they were able to do last year is just find ways to win. Similar to last year. The Broncos have a chance to kick a field goal to win it. Chiefs block it, and they win the game just like that in a game where Broncos probably should have won it, but because the Chiefs block a field goal with, the field goal, the ball's literally at like the 30-yard line too, and the Chiefs blocked the field goal. So it's just stuff like that, where it's like, hey, they were getting that last year. They're not getting it this year. So, but shout out to the Broncos. They extend their winning streak now to 8 games, and they're looking like they control their destiny in the AFC West, which I think a lot of people predicted, so it's nice to see one of the, shout out to Cover 3, I think they call them chalk donkeys. Something that everybody's pretty much on. It's looking like it's going to be right. The Chiefs now fall to 5-5, man. That is weird to see. Browns, they beat Ravens beat the Browns 23-16. It looked like the Ravens, honestly, if Dylan Gabriel, I think, plays the whole game, the Browns probably win. Just simply, nothing is not a slight against Shedeur Sanders. It's just the offense was simply made for Dylan Gabriel that week. So when you're the backup quarterback and you get no first-team reps all week, hey, guess what? They probably don't have too many play calls that are suited for you. So, and hey, guess what? Dylan Gabriel's a lefty quarterback, Shadeur's a righty. So you got to flip the offense completely. So there's a lot that went into it. So I'll admit, Shedeur didn't look fully ready for the moment, which, like I said, there's a lot that you can put in. I'm just not going to think about it too much. Just going to put it in the past, be like, hey, it is what it is. We'll see if he starts this upcoming week. With Dylan Gabriel having a concussion, probably a good chance he does. Mark Andrews surpassed Derek Mason for the most all-time receiving yards in Ravens history, so shout out to him for that. Myles Garrett, 4 sacks in this game. The Cleveland's defense at home is just a menace. Like I said, there's a good chance they probably should have won this game, but sadly, they end up not, if you're a Browns fan, and the Ravens are able to just find a way to win. Lamar looked pretty bad for a lot of the day as well, but yeah, Shedeur ends up coming in. The Browns just blitz him nonstop. The Ravens, once Shedeur came in, they just blitz him nonstop. Shadeur's not able to have a chance to really do much of anything, so overall, they don't win the field position battle, so it just gives the Ravens time just to eat away, and they were able to win it. The final game of the week, Cowboys, they win 33-16 on Monday night. Not too shocking at all. Cowboys defense actually looked pretty good with the new additions. Overshown coming back was huge. Quentin Williams looked really good. Logan Wilson looked good. I'm trying to think. Overall, I mean, offensively, I guess the CD Lamb George Pickens thing, that was interesting. They got benched for the first drive. But then they come in, they both score a touchdown. George Pickens has 144 receiving yards yesterday. I mean, they just did whatever they want. And then Ashton Jeanty only getting 6 carries, I think is horrible. They need to be better than that. Brock Bowers, did he hit his over for us? He did not. He missed it by a yard and a half. That is disgusting. But he did get a lot more involved like we predicted he would just because how little they used him last game. But with how bad the offensive line is, they just stand no chance. Gino to throw an interception was never a doubt. It was minus 160, so I didn't give it out. I mean, I gave it out, but I kind of gave it out, but I didn't because it was minus 160. But I did take it, and it hit. Overall, this bad game for the Raiders. Shout out to the Cowboys for getting a massive win. They improved to 4-5-1, and hey, you never know, right? But overall, awesome game for them. They played really hard for Marshawn Nealon, first game since he passed away. Very emotional game for them, and I'm sure we will continue to see more about Marshawn Nealon as the season goes on and how they're going to honor him. That does it for all the games and the recap of that part. Let's go over some news. Rodgers won't need surgery, but he's uncertain to play for the Bears, so I'm assuming that's going to be a very late decision, probably a Thursday, Friday, potentially even Saturday decision. Let's see if there's anything else. Talk about Josh Jacobs being day-to-day. That's something for the Cowboys game. Shedeur Sanders' home actually got broken into as well while he was at the game. So talk about a double whammy, bad game, and getting your house broken into. Suspended 1 game. We talked about that for Jamar Chase. Penix is going to IR. London reportedly, at least out this week. We talked about that. Yeah, Josh Jacobs won't require surgery on his knee, so that's the big thing to start. Big, massive news there for him. Jets are going to start Tyrod Taylor against the Ravens, which we talked about a little bit earlier. I think it was just getting to the point where they just need to pass the ball a little bit more, and Justin Fields just seems to be struggling with that at this point. Landon Johnson is going to be out 4 to 6 weeks. Lane. I don't know why I said Landon. Lane Johnson's going to be out 4 to 6 weeks with a Liz Frank injury on his foot, so they basically made it sound like he's probably not playing again during the regular season. They're going to hold him out until the playoffs, and with 7 weeks to go in the regular season, that makes a lot of sense. So we're probably not going to see Lane Johnson again until the playoffs for the Eagles, which, I mean, they have their division locked up, but seeding-wise could be coming into play, but their defense is so damn good. Well, I mean, we'll have to see. That defense is so damn good. Let's see. We talked about that. Jacoby record. We talked about that. That might actually be it for all the big news coming out of Sunday. I think we talked about all the injuries while we were going through it. I don't think there's anything more really to add on to it. NFL plans to return to Spain. That's not too shocking. Eagles owner apparently met with Brown to hash out the frustrations on the offense, which is never really a good sign. So it just seems like that's moving closer and closer to him not being there anymore. I guess I did miss a little bit of news. Giants urging Jart to modify his running style. I don't think that's too shocking. And then Hunter's going to remain a two-way player in 2026. It's good to hear. We missed the Laporta thing. J.K. Dobbins is going to have season-ending surgery on his foot. I think I did forget to mention that as well. So, yeah. Then Matt Gay got released by the Commanders. That was another thing I did miss, I'll admit. Which, after his rough game in Madrid, not the most shocking. So, yeah, let's go over the markets now and everything to finish off the NFL portion of this show. And I will admit, something for the... I'll admit, I have this college football playoff thing I'm thinking about messing around with. It's a little 5-leg nasty... Something I definitely shouldn't be placing, but I've been messing around with it, I won't lie. And the odds on it just changed a little bit, so... We're going to have to check that out after the show, but... Odds to win the... we'll do division first. So division, New England's the favorite of minus 260. Bills are plus 195. I think the Patriots, with how each of their schedule is going to be, might be able to lock it up. Ravens minus 270. Steelers are plus 240. Those are the two there. Colts are minus 340. Jaguars are plus 370. And the saddest thing to hear, the Tennessee Titans are the first and only team that is mathematically eliminated from winning the division. Now, don't get me wrong. While I don't think the Cleveland Browns are going to win their division, they still mathematically have a chance. So if craziness happens, they still could. But Tennessee Titans, not the case. Their odds are taken off the board. They cannot win the division at all. Broncos minus 300 win their division. Chargers plus 500. Chiefs plus 600. Insane. And like I said, it's probably looking like Denver's going to win that one. Eagles are minus 10,000 to win their division. That's a lock at that point. Packers plus 140. Detroit's plus 150. The Bears are plus 310. That's going to be an interesting one. The Packers might be able to sneak away with it just because, as of right now, I believe the Lions are out of the playoffs. I think Bears are on top of the division, but they have a very hard remaining schedule. So, with the hard remaining schedule remaining for them, the Lions struggling, it seems like even with the Packers struggling themselves, they just might be able to be the team that, with how talented they are, get through it. Tampa Bay, they're minus 650 win the division. Panthers are plus 850. So, yeah, Saints. Falcons are done. That's crazy. Yeah, the Saints have better odds to win the division than the Falcons, if that tells you how bad that is. Rams are now minus 240 to win their division. Seahawks plus 310. 49ers plus 850. So it seems like Rams might be pulling away with that one. To win the Super Bowl, you got Eagles at plus 500. Rams are plus 550. Bills are plus 850. Colts are plus 950 now. Chiefs are plus 1,000. Shout out to the Colts, man, getting a boost. It was like plus 1,300 around there for most of the week. So, man, that's actually kind of crazy that moved that much now. What was I going to look at next? Sorry. I opened the wrong thing. Awards. MVP, you got Stafford's now the favorite at plus 135. Drake May's next at plus 175. Josh Allen is plus 450. Then Jonathan Taylor's plus 900. So that's your four-man race. Josh Allen bringing himself back into the equation after a massive game against the Bucs. Jonathan Taylor probably going to Offensive Player of the Year. He's minus 400. If anybody's going to take it from him, it's JSN at plus 280. But it's probably going to be Taylor since he won't be getting MVP. It seems like at this point. I hope he does. I genuinely hope they give him a shot, but it just feels like with how they are with the quarterbacks, I'm preparing for the inevitability. Myles Garrett's minus 320 now to be Defensive Player of the Year. That was literally like minus 200 this morning, so that's gotten bet on even more. Mike Parsons plus 470 behind him, and that seems like a two-man race now. Emeka Egbuka plus 150. Plus 110 to Rookie of the Year, plus 250 for Dart. McMillan's plus 430. Tyler Warren's plus 550. Four-man race there. Carson Schlesinger is minus 230 now for being Defensive Rookie of the Year. Jalen Walker, plus 800. So, I think I said it last week. Just pick a guy you like, and if you pick Carson Schlesinger, looking like that was the right choice so far. Because I will say, he has been balling out, but I'm shocked to see him that high up in the odds. Mike Vrabel to win Coach of the Year is plus 100. Shane Steichen plus 175. McDonald's plus 750. Man, we gave up Mike Vrabel at the beginning of the year. With how easy their schedule is, it's looking like that might be another hit for us. Christian McCaffrey minus 145 for Comeback Player of the Year. Dak Prescott's plus 170. And then Aiden Hutchinson's plus 1,100. So it seems like it's going to be Dak or CMC. And then they have Myles Garrett to be the... so I think this is the betting part, for the betting portion. Myles Garrett to break the sack record, plus 130. The sack record is 23 plus sacks. I'm tempted to jump on that. I want the odds to get a little bit better, though, I will say. So I might stay away from that a little bit. And risk missing it if the odds get worse. But yeah, that does it for the NFL portion of this episode now. I think we're going to hop into college and go over Week 12 quickly and talk about some of the scores and the wildness that happened there. College football, we had some massive games with some massive implications. Clemson, they upset Louisville 20-19. Massive win for Clemson. Wish we pulled the trigger on them. I think I ended up staying off. And that's the end of Louisville season, pretty much. They obviously are going to make a bowl game, but they pretty much lost any chance of making the college football playoffs. Oregon, they destroyed Minnesota 42-13. Notre Dame handled business against Pitt 37-15. So looking the rest of the way, Notre Dame has Syracuse and Stanford. They are currently 35.5 point favorites over Syracuse. And I'm assuming they'll be similar against Stanford. At that point, they're in the college football playoffs. So they just got to go 2-0 the next 2 weeks, which they most likely should. So that was a massive win against Pitt for them. Washington just dismantled Purdue. They got... they missed the college football playoffs by losing last week. If they would have won, they would have maybe had a chance. So they got that off their chest by just dismantling Purdue. Biggest comeback in Texas A&M football history. Down 30-3 at half. They come back to win 31-30. Insane, absolutely insane comeback. I'm so glad I was able to click on to watch the end of it. At one point, like, it's just like, okay, so this is over, and you're watching, it's like, no way, and they just pulled out. It was an insane, completely, like, if you watch the first half with Marcel Reed, and it's like, okay, so yeah, they're done. He looked horrible. And then the second half, he looked like a completely different player. That's one of those wins that could galvanize a team, and tell you what, Texas A&M, they're going to be a team to watch for at this point. I mean, obviously they're 8-0, and they were 9-0, up to that point. But getting a win like that, that's a massive, massive win for a team. So now they can prove they can win any way they need to. So now it's just, okay, are they going to get Le'Veon Moss back here soon? And because I'll admit, I forget if he's coming back or not. Yeah, as of November 3rd, they said he still could return by season's end. So they get him back. I mean, that team could be really dangerous, especially if he's healthy. South Florida, they lose 38-41 against Navy. That probably kills all of their college football playoff hopes, which is just soul-crushing for them. But Navy, they keep their playoff hopes alive, and they did whatever they wanted against South Florida. That was an impressive performance by Navy. Michigan escapes with the win against Northwestern, 24-22. Yeah, not the best offensive day from them, but they still get a win. Let's see. UConn, they beat Air Force. Cincinnati, they lose to Arizona 30-24, so that kind of kills them in their playoff hopes. Indiana handles business against Wisconsin. LSU escapes with the win against Arkansas. Arkansas kind of just blew that game very late, which is, I mean, they had all the chances in the world to win it, and they just didn't, which sums up Arkansas lately the last couple of years. That was a tough loss for them. West Virginia, they almost stealed against Arizona State. They lose 25-23. North Texas, they win 53-24. They are now the team that looks like they're going to be in the college football playoffs so they can win out. Because at this point, it sounds like, like I said, all my college football experts I've been listening to all year, the last couple of weeks have been saying, or I guess, so yeah, the last couple of weeks, not all year, have been saying, teams coming from the American, teams coming from the American, teams coming from the American. And it looks like a team is coming from the American, where there's North Texas, Tulane, or I forget who the third team is. But it's looking like if North Texas can win out, they might be that team. They look really, really good. They beat UAB bad. New Mexico escapes against Colorado State. That was a game they probably should have won a bit bigger. Virginia wins 34-17, so the doomsday potential for the ACC is now avoided with Duke's fifth. Now Duke is 5-5. I think there's a second conference loss, but Virginia has a chance to make the conference championship. USC beats Iowa, ending Iowa's chance at the college football playoffs. Oklahoma, they saved their chances at the college football playoffs. They beat Alabama 23-21. That was a massive, massive win for them because now if they can, they might lose one of their next two games, which might hurt them. But if they can win out, there's a really good chance they make the college football playoffs. Georgia Tech, they won 36-34. They were down 11 going into the fourth quarter, and they were able to make a comeback themselves. They've been playing with fire the last couple of weeks, and they got a very important game against Pitt. If Georgia Tech wins out, they're in the ACC championship game, and they're playing a team that, assuming there's a good chance they don't play Miami. If they don't play Miami, they should probably beat any other team that's in there. So they just need to focus up and win these last two games. It's been really, really shaky these last couple of weeks, but they got a shot to lock back in a little bit. Miami destroys NC State. NC State basically no-showed. That was 41-7. Texas Tech, they won 48-9. Speaking of another team that just destroyed their opponent. East Carolina, they get a massive win over Memphis. They win 7. That's the third team in the American. East Carolina, while they have a super, super long shot, their hope for a bid to win the American is still alive. Tulane, they won against Florida Atlantic, which that also helps them. And Utah State, UNLV, that was a fun game to go look back at some of the highlights of. Wish I was able to watch that live. Ole Miss beats Florida. They handle business late. Texas just gets dominated, by Georgia. So their chances of the college football playoffs looks like it's pretty much dead at this point unless something insane happens in the SEC. Let's see. Ohio State, they destroy UCLA. BYU destroys TCU bad. And then Virginia Tech gets destroyed by Florida State, but Virginia Tech, shout out to them. I'll talk about it right here real quick. They hired James Franklin as their next head coach, and I think that's probably a really good hire for them, and I think that's something that will really help that program get back on the map and get back to being a good team. He's a good enough coach that he might be able to help them run the ACC and get back up to being a contender, because it's been many, many years, and it sucks to see how bad the environment has been. And by the way, just announced, as of right now, it just got released by Ian Rappaport. D'Amico Ryan said C.J. Stroud and Jalen Petrie will be out for the Thursday night football game. So, man, that's going to inform some of our decisions tomorrow. But like I said, we talked about the college football playoffs and all that. We're probably just going to leave the top. I said I was going to go over the AP Top 25. I'm just going to... I'll just read it just to keep the honor of it for the rest of the season. But, because, yeah, we have... I guess I literally only have, like, this week to read it and next week, so... AP Top 25, Ohio State 1, Indiana 2, A&M 3, Georgia 4, Ole Miss 5, Oregon 6, Texas Tech 7, Oklahoma 8, Notre Dame 9, Alabama rounds out top 10. Then you got BYU, Vanderbilt, Utah, Miami, Georgia Tech, USC, Texas, Michigan, Virginia, Tennessee. That's 11 through 20. And then James Madison, North Texas, Missouri, Tulane, Houston rounds out the top 25. Like I said, the AP Top 25 is starting to get to that point where kind of a bit different from the college football playoffs, but still, I guess, matters a little bit because of bowl seeding and all that. But, yeah, for us, when it comes to the actual college football playoffs, kind of a different thing. So, thank you all for watching. Thanks for the support. I really do appreciate it. I will be back in this feed on Wednesday for Pickem Wednesdays at this point. I mean, it's Pickem Thursday on a Wednesday, but might as well just brand it as Pickem Wednesday. It's a whole... We don't do them on Thursdays anymore, but we're going to go over Pickem, which, to spoil it a little bit, we're slipping a little bit. We didn't have the best of weeks. There was 4 games where we could have got Keith. He went 4-0, so looked like he's going to get first. At this point, we need to battle for second, and that's even starting to slip away, so we need to lock in a little bit. Then we're going to go over my bets for week 12 of the NFL. Week 13 of college, which is crazy to think about. We got 2 regular seasons. This is going to be the last regular season week of the year, because next week we have the weirdness of Thanksgiving, so there'll be games spread out all across the week, and then after that we have conference championship, and college football regular season is over. Unbelievable. But we aren't there just yet. We still got another week, so I'll see everyone, like I said, tomorrow to talk about week 12 of the NFL, week 13 of college football.